Well, hey everybody. I know it's been a minute. I've been under the weather. Disabled. Bad things have been happening, and I haven't been able to stream. And next week's looking even worse. But here's this song. Oh, and this is the high drama live stream for today. See, so like what happened was so let's do the savings throws for today, because who knows what's gonna happen. Give me some lofi. I need some lofi right now, but not loud. Like there, maybe. Welcome. Now, I'm sure you know by now, but you get to pick between survival, social, wisdom, or a heart. And if it's over 10, you take half damage from the mind control. And this might be pretty deep, this one. Hey, lunch. Survivalist. That's a 17 today. Socialist. 2. Wisdom, folks. Whoa. 3. And hard, folks. 5. I think your resistances are down because I haven't been able to stream lately. Joseph, Lenny, Magic, Lunch, people that don't chat, welcome. Let's see. What we're gonna do today is okay. So what happened was wait. What do we have on deck? Well, you might not know this, but there's this website called this-little-corner- and you can search for words I've said in my streams and Paul has said, and it's very fancy. I consider the guy who made it like kind of the de facto landlord of the corner, because he's in control of who gets to go in that search engine. And I'm pretty sure that Karen just released a talk with the guy. And I think it's this guy, but I get wrong people sometimes. So why is that happening? Up until yesterday, this worked just fine, where I could share from in here and then it wouldn't ruin my whatever.
And in some sense, this is where all
That's why it wasn't working.
And so I actually think about this often during my workday, because it does feel like, yeah, we're taking the ideas, our conception of the system, and we're taking the raw code and the language and all the stuff we do, and we're bringing it together, and that is the system. That's where the system emerges from. It emerges from heaven, coming down and meeting with earth. right? And I'm sure that's how art feels as well. Not an artist, but it's the same pattern, right?
Yeah, it is, because with art you have the idea, but then you have to be using things of the earth. You have to be using paint and brushes and paper, or canvas, all of those tools of the earth that you're using. And the two of those together, the idea and then the tools, then you end up with this piece of art that is neither of those things. It's not just the idea, and it's an instantiated idea, but that idea required the things of earth to produce it. But there's an
Hey, Guile. No, Karen is not a Karen, as correctly identified by Freedom's Lunch there. So that's can I drag it to the other side? Because I'm leaning. Anyway, so that dude might be a powerful character in the corner, and I hear great things about the rest of the talk. I was only that far, but that was good. Also, we have some potential T-shirt ideas we can steal from this guy named Robert Gray, which is, I don't know why I haven't talked to him yet. I think that's gonna happen. But here's some of his thing.
It's me because of my red arm. I thought that would look good in a shirt. I would wear that. So I'm watching this one, and John's talking about like synesthesia and adaptation and echolocation and the Bat Boy. And he says, for obvious reasons, we don't call him Batman. And I'm like, a shirt that had John's face and that slogan, for obvious reasons, we don't call him Batman, I would wear that.
Well, that was one of my Jeopardy questions, so I'm not going to use that anymore.
Yeah.
And
So this guy, he's stolen the Jeopardy idea and is actively doing it, and yet probably didn't submit any of that to Chad. So it's like there's this part of the corner that doesn't associate with us, but there's stuff going on, and I'll point you at it. And here was something that I didn't make it very far through, but was pretty dramatic. It led to drama. So here we go on that. No, wait. That's not the part we're doing now, Graham. No? Son of a... What part are we doing? Well, the part that comes next, sir, just... So it turns out he made me a new one in the Discord, but it was like a QuickTime file I couldn't convert, so only the old one. What we're actually going to cover, though, is... So I don't know if you're aware, you guys probably are, but some people might not be. I recently did Some Guy I Didn't Know's podcast, and I think it's one of the best. Like, I do the Fringe Encounters where people come and meet me here for the first time on the internet, and it was one of those, but it was on his turf instead of my turf, so it was a completely different thing. But he's doing what is proper protocol, like where one would take the nuggets and polish them up and put them out someplace else. And so here's what that looked like. Everybody was eating Jordan Peterson stuff, and they ran out. And so all these little channels like Peugeot and Vervaeke, the algorithm fed them to the people that had been eating Peterson. And one of those was this guy who had made himself the poster child for living the 12 rules or whatever on this channel called Sorting Myself Out. He scored a Peterson talk early on. And so that channel had caught. You guys catch that jump cut? He cut out the part where I said that guy said that he had gotten that talk using sigil magic. My interest during the Peterson days, and I had stayed with it. I go live streaming off for a year and come back around. And I'm just trolling Vanderclay, but I apparently make a point. No, I get so frustrated that he's missing a point that I make a video he notices, and then his people notice me, and eventually I get to talk to Vervaeke, So there was a point where now he has yet to make one of those out of my favorite part of the discussion, so I'm just going to play that for you now. But the whole thing is apparently very, very good, and very straightforward and concise for me. I've been told. Do it. There you go.
If I were to look back, or if they were to look back and think of me, and if I were to think of them, what would we think of each other? We probably wouldn't be able to respect each other or be able to say, yeah, this person is honestly probably a good person, or you wouldn't be
It's
able
like,
to say
what
that.
do you think of hookup culture while you're engaging in hookup culture? Right? It's like, I know I'm doing this and I know how it makes me feel to do this. And so, right? Is that the thing is, it's not, you're not objectifying it. I think mentally it's happening, but like spiritually, you're binding your life to that person. It doesn't matter if like intellectually it's just a hookup to me. Like, and like, I don't, potentially disease wise, you're binding your life to that person. But you're also plowing an empty field. You're also getting the reward that like a woman is meant to bestow on the man she's willing to. We need more of this in this world, and take you in and make more of you. You're getting that gift but it's a false simulacrum of it. It produces nothing. There's no fruit. It's barren. Porn is worse because it gets first it cuts. That part I thought it was good, but this part is really, really the part. Hey there, Lynn. Coffee. Hi, Harvey. Good to see you. Guile was cool and put stamps in the bottom, but first, the good part. There. Fuck you. It's like, hey Harley, I'm gonna bang this chick later. You want to come sit in the corner and watch? No, but you will behind a phone. You'll watch me do it if it's on a video, right? So? Why are you doing that if you wouldn't do that? And all. So I thought that part was especially lovely, and you guys shouldn't miss it. And then yesterday, I ran into the high drama part we'll be going into directly, but first some branding. Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. Welcome. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. No. What's the drama on the Vervaeke Discord with Mark Lefebvre? What is the drama? That wasn't really drama. It was more like I stopped by to drop off a plug for that podcast, and he was beating up on somebody, and I'm like, he's just projecting. You're a mirror, and he's projecting the things he can't see about himself, and then I don't know, he obfuscated and intentionally failed reading comprehension of what I was saying. I can't stand it. I know he planned it, and that's not the drama. The drama's coming here. The drama is coming. Yeah, I don't think Mark likes me very much, but like since I'm probably going to be gone next week, it's probably not going to be next week, but we have started a negotiation of Grim Grizz versus Lefebvre on the topic of community. So we're going to theoretically be scheduling that soon. We'll see. Here's the drama I did encounter, though, not that. This. Now, I thought that guy in the bottom was really in. Apparently not. I don't know.
I think a lot of weird things happened right before this, right? Karen Wong from the Meaning Code contacted me and said, what do you think of this video? And it was a James Lindsay video.
I know I have a lot of fun around here, but if we could take a moment and pray that through God's grace, Karen is granted a little more discernment. I think that'd be good.
Where that he just did recently. It was a recent talk, and he's talking about Gnosticism, And I just put out a video recently on a pattern of cults, basically, right? So patterns and conspiracy is what it's called on Navigating Patterns. And I mean, it's interesting that all this is sort of coming together. You can see sort of, I would argue, the Gnosticism popping out of Vervaeke's work now, because it's inevitable. And
yeah, that's why. Because this was really hard to watch. And the only way you're able to watch this sort of thing is if you're capable of hearing the word right 740 times in 3 minutes. But if you can handle that, if you make your savings throws, there might be something good in there. I just went to the source, and I didn't get through there's like apparently 3 talks this James Lindsay fella gives, and I started doing a distillate of the first one. I'll present that to you now. This was as far as I got, but I trimmed it down pretty good, I think. Desktop, there it is. Lindsay distillate.
I want to communicate with that is that the West, what we call the West, has been populated not just by the so-called magisteria of faith and science, as we sometimes refer to them, but also by a set of secret religions, which are more appropriately labeled cults. I don't mean that there have been cults or that there are cults or cults start up. I mean cults have been central to the construction of the West all along. They're huge, they're gigantically influential, and nobody notices them because we don't talk about them. No. We can go back to whenever the Exodus was written, and there's been a world religion nobody talks about ever since. So there's this world religion that's going to feel very alien to you. It's not going to sound like what you think of as religion. It's not going to use words that you're familiar with, but these have been present with us all along and have shaped the development of the West in all of its dimensions, in faith and in science and in politics and in everything. They have weird beliefs that you don't notice, and they were referred to in general as the esoteric religions. They refer to Gnosticism, Hermeticism, some things you maybe have heard of that are closer to home, like Kabbalah, things like Rosicrucianism, the Illuminati, all these scary things that sound very much like conspiracy theories, the Freemasons, and so on. What all of them are initiate societies. They're not necessarily, the Freemasons are an example of an initiate group. You go through an initiation, like when you join a fraternity or sorority in college. You have to go through the initiation, and there are secret things, and you can't tell people, blah, blah, blah. We heard earlier from Mike about the open conspiracy. These are initiate groups. They can be very decentralized. The way that you get initiated, as we're going to talk about a lot, is that you understand the way that they misuse language. They use language in specialized ways that signal to people that you're going to understand things in certain ways. And when normal people hear them, if they have not been initiated into that use of the language, they're not part of the cult. Make it so that these religions, these secret religions, can't keep hiding in the shadows. We have to learn to see them. We have to develop the discernment to pick them out, to pick out when somebody that sounds like they're talking Christianese is actually talking in the esoteric, hermetic language. Possibly more. It's unknown how old they are. They lie about that. But because Plato referred to them as being old in 2,400 years ago, about 400 BC, we know that they're older than that. Literally that you believe you've had an encounter with God yourself and been told it's your job to change the world. I need you to pretend that you're crazy. It's because the way these secret religions operate, the way these secret religions hide themselves, the way that they are able to co-opt worldly authority, as we might phrase it, is by creating simulacra of things that actually deserve authority, pretending to be something they're not, and then occupying that space. They pretend to be philosophies, they pretend to be religions, they pretend to be science, and therefore trick people into supporting them. Theology is that you cannot possibly describe God as the highest being in terms of what he is. You can only explain him in terms of what he is not. So it's a negative philosophy. Oh, he's good. No, he's better than that. He's great. No, he's better than that too. He's the source of, nope, better than that too. Anything you stick to him, not good enough, not big enough. So it's these kinds of ideas, because negative theology morphed throughout these traditions as the Middle Ages came into the modern era and science and the Enlightenment progressed. They transformed into something that literally got named negative thinking. And another name for negative thinking is critique. And you hear the critique of pure reason, you hear critical theory, you hear Karl Marx say the ruthless criticism of all that exists. That's what they're talking about, and thinking. And the negative thinking has evolved into what we would call woke denunciation, if we were being very clear about what woke actually means. If we actually define what woke means, it's a process of knowing how to denounce something in a specific way that allegedly announces the possibility for something different without ever having to say what it is. And you'll notice that's what woke stuff is. That's racist. What are we supposed to do about it? Give me power. I don't know. And sooner or later, you start to lose any resemblance to the original, and then that's what John Baudrillard was warning about, is a full-blown simulacra. There are lots of examples, but it's a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy until the original is lost.
She touched my peppy, Steve.
These are simulacra of the thing, in a sense, that is the original. You've moved from maple syrup to pancake syrup to just syrup. And I bring up the idea of performance or performativity because that's what we have. We have people performing as, say, public health officials or CDC directors. We have communists performing as pastors and priests. That's called liberation theology. Be perverse and weird with you. They're like, oh, if you say that sex is real, you're obsessed with genitals now. So you see what I'm saying? They create the fake thing, which is gender identity. They denigrate the real thing, which is biological sex. And when you try to defend it, they denigrate you by saying you're a pervert for talking about genitals so that you will want to get away from that and occupy the constructed space. That's the negation of the real, and that's how these secret religions of the West work. Being becomes a prison constructed by an evil God that you think is God, and you therefore don't know the full real truth, but they do. That's the psychology they play. That's why this conference is about mere simulacrity, and that's why these talks about the secret religions are about mere simulacrity. There are simulacra of two key institutions, and thus everything that follows from them. Those are faith and reason. Faith as an institution, reason as an institution. We're very abstract at this point. Very, very abstract. Everything that follows from them. There are false churches as a result of faith, false seminaries as a result of faith. There are false...
Sorry, guys. I just now realized I could pause that. Just now. Like the first time I've ever played an actual video clip in StreamYard and realized I could pause it. There's been a lot of chat I need to catch up on. Chris wanted to know how we feel about it. We feel like there's drama incoming, and I'm about to get to that part. But first, I have this very, very important question from Joseph Ward. How many points do I need to unlock the blazer and t-shirt combo? How many points you need at this point is sort of irrelevant because first we have to integrate the crypto token emoji Discord system so that when you participate in the Discord, you can get points that way. But for right now, it's not a matter of points. It's only cash money. But we're moving toward the gamification of participation, and we will get there someday. Meanwhile, SOL, sir, SOL. Let's see. What else did I want to call out? Yes, thank you, senor. Thank you. I couldn't. Anytime you touch my pee-pee, Steve. that happens. Magic genitals throw people off all the time. Federici is claiming Lindsay is a Jewish shill. Jewish shill. That's news to me. What's Larry got to say? God is the direct moral public binding of all men, linguistically unique to and defining our species and its lone dominion, mortality and individuality. And all right, the last 8 words of that, you lost me. Hey, MJ. Then, oh no, it's Paul Van. The rolls were really, really, really low, and I think it's because since I haven't been able to stream recently, it's a thing. How many points? The question of our age. A wild Paul sighting. Okay. All right. And now I've caught up with comments. Here's the rest of this.
CDCs, FDAs, FBIs, SBCs, PCAs, false Vaticans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That there is as far as I made it through interview one. I let the rest of it play as I took a nap. He goes into the sorcerer's circle, which is probably important, but let me get to the hot fire drama I ran into in his second talk this morning. Oh, this was submitted to me, and I'm using it without official endorsement, but check this out. And then, okay, no, but here's the high drama part as premised. No, wait, stop that share. Share this one.
Back to the faith thing,
This one's
it
this
latches
one.
onto
How's the volume? Go.
very valuable traits that faith strengthens and encourages, like charity, caring about people. Well, you're not caring about them enough unless you care about them the way we tell you to. There's a correct way to love thy neighbor. There's a correct way to minister to the poor. It's called socialism. Jesus was a socialist. Just go read your gospel. You hear these things. It co-opts the idea of love. It co-opts the idea of theological mystery and drags you in. And those are things that often people in religious contexts are seeking, they're craving, or they're satisfied by. This is how parasites pull you in. Let me give you an example using love, because obviously love is a big concept in Christianity. In Hermetic thought, love has a different definition.
Now, first of all, this is not the exact. I thought I was at the right part. I might have to go find it. Second of all, he doesn't seem to distinguish at all between Gnosticism and Hermeticism, which really irritates me a little bit. Oh yes, I really hate the way he says thoth. I don't care if that's how you actually say it. That it sounds stupid the way he says it. Oh, where is the part that here? Let me search the trade. No, we just do Control F, Grim. Yeah, I know.
It's a minute.
There, it's supposed to be right here. There. Go.
I got it. Because love in the Hermetic tradition refers to the desire to effect self-completion and Gnostic illumination, which is reunion, partial or whole, with the one, with God. They even have a funny word. What was the point of what happened on the cross? Atonement, right? They mispronounced this word in their secret clubs, atonement. And they spell it in some of their texts this way. They spell it with two hyphens, AT-ONE-ment, at-one-ment.
Dum, dum, dum! There, ladies and gentlemen, the high drama. We're going to end up with Lindsay versus Vervaeke because of that line right there.
Atonement at-one-ment. Atonement means you come back at one with the whole. But when they mean the whole, they mean the undifferentiated God and their weird crackpot religion that they have the only path to return to. This has spun off, this perversion of love, where love now means the desire to effect self-completion and Gnostic illumination, partial or whole reunion with the one or with God, is spun off in recent years into a concept called critical love. Of course, there's got to be a critical everything, right? And you just call it all critical.
I don't know, guys. That's the high drama I detected. I wanted to show you guys what I've been poking around with and I've seen, and I didn't want you to miss out on anything. I don't really have anything else for the show today. We were going ahead with the Deadwood intensive number 2 this Saturday at 8 p.m. Central on the Discord. That's been a lot of fun. I plan to do some prep work between now and then for the channels in there, put some words for people to read, and We watch together. I pause, point things out, and then we talk after. It's good times. And I don't know. Hey, Jacob, have a blessed day. And and as Jocelyn said, Lindsay will be with BB today at 3 on YouTube. I got some thoughts about that voice character, but it should be entertaining, right? You missed it. Oh man. Okay, Lunch. One more time for you.
Happiness and be done.
One more time for your lunch.
They spell it with two hyphens. AT-ONE-ment, at one mint. Atonement at one mint. Atonement means you come back at one with the whole. But when they mean the whole, they mean the undifferentiated God and their weird crackpot religion that they have the only path to return to.
Now, I do want to point out that, like, you hear people say, I'm a non-dualist. And what non-dualism means is essentially that the creator is not separate from the creation. Like, I imagine these people in my head having a conversation, and they say, is the creator different? Are we part of the creator, or are we separate from the creator? And in that case, since they're in my head and I've thought them into existence, they're kind of part of me, and that would be a non-dual situation. Whereas, like, if I created this die, I didn't, then I would be separate from the creation. That's where the dualism and non-dualism apparently comes in. And I hope that's been useful. Well, thank you, Kate. I hope to be entertaining. If you find me entertaining enough, you can buy me a coffee at the links in the description, or go check out what I read on the Substack in the pinned comment. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. Like I said, next week I'll probably be incapacitated again. There's an upcoming me versus Mark thing supposed to be scheduled, and I'm really thankful that you all helped me feel virtually not alone. And in here, I'm going to give you bonus savings throws today, because when people give me things, I try to use them on the show. This is one Chad made, but I think you're going to need bonus savings throws. So remember, you get to choose survival, social, wisdom, or heart. And this save will be for the closing segment and the rest of the day, or until my next stream. Choose survivalist. 15. You're going to make it. Socialists. 16. You're doing good. Wisdom, folks. That's a 6. You're going to need some bonuses. You get that for chatting or commenting or sharing. And heart, folks, with a 5. And here now is the special close from Chad. Thank you. Wait, I'll go over your comments once more after this. Remember it. Remember it. Oh, just one last thing. It's a Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central. I kind of want to do one on Wednesday afternoons for the European folk, but we're not there yet. Bye, everybody.